There's so many videos on YouTube which are really just commercials to buy this or buy that, or it's people that are like, have some sort of angle. My angle is I want you to not be discouraged or disillusioned that you only have this piece of gear and you don't have that piece of gear or whatever. And I want to show you what it looks like when you have way more gear than you need and how that can almost be a, not almost, I put almost in there to make myself feel better about how the paralyzation of too many choices is a real thing. The last studio swap video, I said something about like Sweetwater dipshits or something like that, and I had the honor of speaking directly, hearing from the who self-described as the king of the dipshits. And Mr. King of the Dipshits, I think you're awesome. That wasn't directed at you. Keep doing what you're doing, and thank you for poking me like that, because that was awesome. So here is why it sucks when you do a project and then there's a long gap between start to finish. This is the inputs to every preamp in this rack. There's 28, and these are the outputs. Maybe I'm gonna get lucky, but I did not label them because I either thought I was gonna go right back and do it then, or I just thought I would remember, but I don't remember. That says 1 to 8, and it says DAV and pencil, so that might be, that says SciTech. And it looks like I have the same issue here. I could, you know, plug stuff in and go thing by thing, and I will have to do that anyways, but I'd prefer not to have everything totally wired up and then have to chase it. Let's figure out where I got them pulled out. I dug through the spaghetti, and I think I know what's up. I'm just gonna put it back together and label them, and hopefully not have too big of a problem when I actually plug it in and start testing lines. I think I'm good. This is going to be a box. So that's wired in. So what you're looking at there is the outputs of the Liveroom, which is on the other side of that wall. So there's 28 channels out. These here, and there's in the back, you can't see them, but there's 12 channels that I can send to that room if I need to. So these are the returns and then the sends. So these laying here is a little snake that runs to all the preamps. So I have that snake there, which can connect to any of these preamps in any combination. There's a connection point behind this. That connection point is hardwired into the Crest, which I am using in some ways like a routing device. So this is like a Patchbay in a way. 16 channels of Crest, I think it is, are normaled to the antelope, okay? Which here, let's turn it on. Doink, let's make sure that's, okay. So the Crest is 16 channels there. So what that means is any of these preamps, I can put the EQ in and have a pretty decent EQ here. I can route it to, I can like put an insert on it and put any effect, you know, compressor or another EQ or whatever. But it's a Patchbay with some built-in features. This is the back of the Antelope. And if you see these DB25s on the bottom, those are all the inputs. The first 16 here are the 16 channels that hit the Crest. Then I have another 8 channels that bypasses the Crest and can hit the converters directly. So it's like the first 16 hit the Crest circuitry and whatever routing, and then hit the converters. I have 8 that just goes directly to the converter. So if I chose to, I could run it into the converter. This last one, 8 channels, since it's a 32 channel converter that I can plug in anywhere. Let's say I put a snake, somehow I had the Midas out in the Liveroom, right? And I brought those preamp direct outputs or whatever through a snake, and they end up here, this is like a tie line, okay? So I could route the preamps to hit this tie line, and actually I don't know if this will fit. Oh, there we go. Boink. Now I can put another 8 channels in. Does that make sense to you? This is my flexibility here, okay? With this setup, I have a lot of different options to quickly get a bunch of different things into the converters. These are the outputs. And what I'm going to do is put like maybe 8 or 16 directly onto a Patchbay that isn't installed yet. And then the other 16, I'll probably go directly to, it's up here, this, which is the DAW summing mixer. It's going to be like this because I don't need to get to the front. I'm going to mount it like that. And I will probably just use DB25 to DB25 and direct connect like 16 channels directly into it at all times. That makes sense, right? And then I may have breakout cables like the, here, I'm gonna put that down. If I put this sort of cable on these, then I can just pull it up and plug it and bring anything from anywhere into the summing mixer. And then the outputs, I just have to get to a preamp. And I haven't settled on what I'm going to do yet. I might just hardwire them into a convenient place. But I really liked how this sounded with the DAW preamps. So maybe what I'll do is I'll hardwire these outputs directly into a pair of the DAW, since I have more preamps than anybody could actually need in my circumstances. This is the desk that I used for years. It used to sit right here, and it had my DAW controllers and stuff on it. I'm not going to get rid of it. I put a lot of work into it, and you know, knowing me, I might change my mind in the fall or in the spring and want to do something with it. So what I think I'm going to do is, it's a good solid piece of plywood. I'm going to probably use it to make a baffle behind some amps here and maybe pad it out with some extra blankets and heaviness that I have to sort of soak up reverberation and probably some bass or deeper frequencies. My only complaint about this room is, if you look closely, these are hand milled just furring strips, because we are in an old ice cream freezer. So there's a layer of just hard insulation back there. It's like foam board, you know? When you're banging something heavy against the wall, you're not going to dent it, because like, watch, I can make a dent, right? So these were to protect the walls. Well, they're cool. I believe they help me a lot because they're uneven and they break up some reflection. But in certain places in the room, certain frequencies might activate that vibration there. So I'm going to try and create a vibration-free zone around my main amp or guitar amp speakers and stuff. It sounds fine, but I can hear it sometimes. Even if I can't hear it in the recording, you know what I'm saying. It shouldn't be there. So I'm going to fix it. Sorry. Oh, fucking A. All right, hold on. Let's see. Whatever angle that is what you get. My idea is, I don't want to put this piece that I'm going to put in here, okay? I don't want it to end up in between a space so that when I put these more Patchbays or anything in here, there's like some weird gap or I can't, you know what I'm saying? So my idea was, I got some blank things. I should have 3, but here's some. So there's 1 space, there's 2 space. If I bring this up, that has to be level, right? So in theory, install this one where I want it, so I have the right spacing, and I'll get 2 hands. Not always a great idea to install things into your rack with a heavy duty drill gun, screw gun, but now I could go down 1 more just for safety's sake. Why don't I go down here? This is either genius or stupid. Okay, I see a flaw. Son of a, how the hell do I get my screw gun in there? So I'm gonna take the top one off. Shit. There's a little bit of give here on the side rail, so let's see. Oh my God. Should have pre-drilled these. It's solid. Let's try one thing. Genius, dipshit, remains to be seen. I like it. It does what I need it to do. All right, girls and boys, it's an exciting day for me. Boink. On Friday, I got to this point. Drums are kind of where I would put them, mic stands are kind of waiting for mic. I'm trying to get it laid out so I can run cabling and stuff. I think what I'm gonna do is start with maybe the overhead and just start putting mics up just to hear. I don't see any point in really deciding where I'm gonna put everything else if I put these drums up and realize I want to move them over here, or you know what I'm saying? First things first. I'm messing around with, I have these shelves and I am positive that if I put them askew at in different places, they will affect the high end. You know, they're gonna move, they're gonna bounce stuff around. And I thought, well, let's just put shit out and see if I can hear a difference. So here's where I'm at. I've got mic stands kind of roughly where I think they might be useful. I don't have time to set up mics today. I'm gonna do just recording with my phone. Oops. I don't know how long it's been, probably a goddamn hour. Today, the day I decide I'm going to start, you know, actually passing audio in and out of my computer, suddenly issues with these. I mean, it's like uncanny. And so, fuck those. I've got Panorama, the Nektar Panorama going, which is really a fun thing, and it has the transport control too. So I'm not even going to worry about those. I'm just going to try and do my job today and not get sidetracked. Now I'm about to turn the power on here. So let's see. The first time I've actually done it, that's going to be my number. Shit. That should light up. What the Oh. Hold on. I'll keep it away from my audio cables as much as I can. And I got freaking tape residue on my hand. But that came on. This apparently was already on. And I see power there. So let's see. Oh, that's working. I got it. All right, so these modules should be working. So here we go. Okay, so look, the first 16 channel snake that's in by the drum kit will be coming out. Those will all be showing up here. So when I plug a mic in out there on channel 1, it'll come out right here. So 1 through 16 should be right here, right? I can tell you right now, I don't like the tension that we're seeing on these cables, so I'll probably have to give myself a little more play here. This will make sense in a second. So down there, I've got the first 4 channels coming out of the thing, first 4 channels here, which are hitting the first 4 channels, if you can see it, of the radio. And then the outputs, now that's where these would come in, and channel 1, 2, 3, 4 would correspond. So 1, 2, 3, 4 would come there, and those would get sent actually over to here. It is a little bit convoluted, but once I get it going, it'll make sense and you'll understand the logic. So right now, here's 1, 2, 3, 4 as I have it patched in. So it hits here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then these 4 channels go direct out into the converter, which will show up on channels 1, 2, 3, 4. See what I'm saying? So microphone to that box, into these preamps, out of this box, into here, just so that if I wanted the EQ or if I wanted the insert point or whatever, this thing's invisible. Anything it does, quote, add, sounds awesome to me. It sounds great. It's about committing and making decisions. And if that makes you uncomfortable, you're selling yourself short. You're robbing yourself of joy and creativity. And also, I just think you're showing yourself to be a bit of a choice can be paralyzing, as a lot of you probably know. And this is a pile of where most of my good XLR cables are tossed during this process. And I'm like, oh, as I'm walking over here, I realize, am I going to dig through and find a certain cable? And I'm like, no, I'm going to pick the top one off the pile, and that's the one I'm going to use. And if there's an issue, I'll deal with it. But otherwise, let's not make it more complicated than it already is. I've got a Manny modified Cascade Fathead, and I'm going to use it out right on top of the drums here. and I'm gonna run it into line 1 and cross my fingers that I get some sound. I had crossed my fingers and thought I'm just gonna be able to plug it in and it's gonna come out where it's supposed to come out, but that is not the case. So the only thing I can do is start at the front of the chain. So I'm going to take this microphone into where the preamps are and plug it directly into the preamp, make sure I'm getting signal there, and just go down the line. I got signal going where it's supposed to be. What I discovered is whenever I wired the outputs of the SciTech for sure, and probably everything else, it got misplugged. So, you know, I just fucked it up. I know exactly what I did. If I simply flip this thing upside down, I can't twist it. Cables are too tight. But if I just rotate it 180 degrees, this is correct. It goes from 1 and up. I just had it inverted or flipped over. When I labeled it, it was opposite. So I'm just going to unplug this, plug it in the right way, and pretty sure it's going to work. But wow, that was stupid. It's working. I have no idea what it's going to sound like. It looks like it's clipping. So it is a little bit. I've got to cut it down. I can't remember. Is there a pad on the SciTechs? No. This doesn't have a pad either. So I'm at the end of the day, I'm just listening to what I did. It was actually really fun. So I just set up no cymbals except for the hi-hat, and I just put mics where, kind of just where I want to try to use the least mics possible. So I had been recently using, I have these phase cables, so you can do a top and a bottom on your toms or whatever you want to do. And today I said, well, let me just throw them on the top, and then not just like reflexively do it, like do it, listen to it, and then maybe we'll add them tomorrow and see. But anyway, kick, snare, toms, one mono overhead, which is a ribbon. And then I put this thing, this is a fun one. That's a Roswell K47 pointed up at the ceiling kind of as far away as I can. It sounds cool. I think that's one that you could you could move to get that like delay just right between the kick and that. You might fatten it up, but it sounds pretty neat. And then I just, for fun, threw a little plate reverb on it. And check this out though. Here's how cool this is. I've got this easy to bring up the reverb program, and there's my mix. Nothing. Just so much better than doing it with the mouse. It was a long day, but I've got monitoring out there. I mean, it's rigged, but it's working. I was able to sit out there, use my iPhone with Logic Remote, and, you know, basically get something done. It was fun. I think it's Wednesday morning. Last night, I got a little bit of bass tracked via this Sans amp, which went into the channel of the Neotech and then hit the computer. I am not going to tell you how the signal flow works, but I've gotten this ready to go. And what I'm trying to do is have as many options, like 3 or 4 amp options, almost instantly ready to go via this thing. Getting a little more organized. Oh, also pretty cool. I now have this and this stereo normalized to this ReAmp, so I should be, if I want to, I could send any signal instantly through this and get some chorus or really cool sounding reverb on it, like without patching anything. And I just think it'll be fun, and it is kind of a limit. It's like, boom, limitation. There it is, but it's ready to go, and it's on the Patchbay back here, so I can do whatever I want. If I decide I just want to come out of the ReAmper and hit any other kind of pedal, I can send it from this Patchbay to here. I just, in the middle of it, was, I'm caught thinking about it. I don't know. My brain is tired. I'm going to go get the Jarrito. I prefer to do a quick first walkthrough when I get here in the morning to really capture where I'm at. Those are empty guitar cases because I'm actually out making music in here trying to test out the system. And these are not hooked up. They're kind of, I'm toying with the idea that that would be really convenient just to swing around, and still a lot of work to do in certain areas, but that is hooked up. All of this, well, that is hooked up, and so far I've only tested the outputs that go to the, this is a stereo, or it can be a stereo. It's really just like a mixer. It's like not a mixer, but it's a line selector. So what I've done here is my guitar signal comes into the, we'll just walk through this. So here it is. So my guitar signal comes from the guitar into the tuner. It then immediately hits the BAE PDI. Now this has a through and a B through, so two outputs. So it comes in here. There's a DI signal that comes out and runs around and hits the DAW. One of the signals passes through these pedals. So one of these signals goes from the PDI into this Dynacomp, into this U80 Dream. And so basically it's just, I've always had a soft spot for Dynacomps. They're fun. And I just felt like putting it in front of this. But this is basically like one of my amp options. So this comes out and the two channels hit number 2 here, okay? So you see stereo out hits here. So I have 2 selected, and that means it runs out of, there's a DI. See how there's a DI here, and then also there's 2 throughs. So I could run this to 2 amplifiers or whatever, but there's 1/4 inch line out or instrument outputs. Okay, that's instrument level. These are line level because this is a DI. So what I did yesterday, where I'm at as far as making this demo that I'm doing just to test the equipment, I just hit this sucker, got a sound I liked, and then I came directly out of the DI. It comes around there, and I hit 2 channels of the DAV, which is right there, and then I put the PDI in the first. So let's just zoom over here. And they can just live there. Now, 2 comes from here, hits the MXR studio compressor, which is basically an 1176. And this is my absolute favorite guitar compressor, just for the size and the sound and how much you can do with it. So anyways, hits the compressor, the Big Muff, the Rat, the Silvertone. It hits the hot tubes, then it hits this. I don't use these all at the same time, although you can, and I probably have many times, but it just gives me, if you know about guitar pedals, this is a bunch of different options, right, depending on what I'm going to hit. So these all come out here and then hit number 1. So if I click it to 1, then it comes out the through. Today I'm going to run 2 lines that live over here. By the way, here's this room today, bit of a mess, but you know, I have the different pedals because different amps like different things to hit the preamps, and it's just a bunch of flavor. So today I expect to mic this up. Maybe I'll just get the old twin going. Maybe I'll do the Roland. Maybe I'll do the amp. Maybe I'll do this old Silvertone. I'm paralyzed with choice. Yeah. Oh, and then also on my list is cleaning up cables, cleaning up trash and debris, finishing these pretzels, which have been open just like that for probably the 2nd week here. So this is an old Zeo synth. Yeah, I looked these up. They're kind of like, people who like them like them. I got this from a estate sale. I bought a bunch of shit, and this was just as an afterthought thrown in. I originally looked at it and like, oh, it's just some cheap like M Audio from 2001 controller, but it is most definitely not that. This thing is really cool. I have it hooked up, going out the stereo outputs, run it over here. It's now coming in 3. I flip it to 3, boom, it immediately goes out, zoom, runs on the cables, ends up there. Those are always in the goddamn way. I almost never use them, but when I do use them, sometimes they're just absolutely perfect. It'd be nice to have that always hooked in and ready to go. It's the morning time. I'm letting the computer start up. Got coffee. I remembered to bring this back from my house. My kid had borrowed it. We bought him a the frick is it? Cattle and bread. What's the cattle and bread spring river? Anyways, he liked that one a lot. He likes this one, but the other one's no contest. And I brought myself these to snack on today and a Pop-Tart. What I'm going to try to do, I have that done, so I was able to track guitars. Drums were wired up, tracked some stuff, and I got some monitoring, and it's kind of crude but functioning. And so I recorded a little demo because it's way more fun. It's more practical to just try to record something as the way to test everything, you know. So where I'm at now is I've tracked some drums, I've tracked some bass and guitars. I'm stuck between wanting to just get a video done so I can move and keep, you know, move on and whatever, and getting tied up. But what I should do is mix it through the analog gear and sum it through the DAV. See, the problem is, well, that blinking screen would be something, but it tells me I need to update all this stuff. There's no freaking way to do it. If I click on it, it just goes, well, fuck it. I swear to God. Oh, there's not enough coffee. Hey, it's working. Maybe I fumbled my way into this. So I'm like, okay, well, I want to just get this shit done so you can have audio for the video and I can move along. And this just crashed in the middle of it. It froze when all I was trying to do was pull the volumes down. I wanted to make a new mix. In the midst of it, as I was moving from one channel to the other using this button here, which goes up and down selects my channels, it just froze. So it was only showing the first channel, even though I was able to go and pull them down and on screen watch them come down, but here it just was frozen. Then all of a sudden it just died. It says console 1 fader updating firmware. That's a good sign. Missing license. Okay, I gotta activate this. Oh shit. I think we got her sorted out here. Haven't touched it yet, but that's exciting. Let me see if I touch this. It's moving in in Logic. I still don't have the CS12 working. It crashed and I gotta reinstall it. But so we may have an issue with these and these playing together, and that sucks because this is definitely my transport and I cannot live without it. I don't know. I'm sure there's a way. It's just gonna take patience that I probably don't have right this second. I currently have console 1 fader, and Nektar CS12 all working at the same time. So if I push this, we're working. Ready? I'm gonna hit stop. Boink. Right now, what's this? So using console 1, pay attention. Sorry about that. I wish there was coffee in that cup. Okay, so pay attention to the channels here. Okay, so watch. I'm gonna be using this button here. See how it's changing channels, floor, room, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now watch up here. See it changing? Now watch here. You can see me do it at the same time. So boink, 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 boink. Come over here. Boink, boink, boink. Over here. Boink, 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 boink. So all three are working together, which means for now, until I screw it up, I have 10 faders plus this guy. I can, for instance, watch the pan. Okay, I can change the pan there. I can change the pan here. I can change the pan. Let me go to, the only thing is why, oh, it's on channel 8. So change the pan. No, here. Yep. So they're all working. If I move that's moving, that's moving. This is also moving. See that? Where I broke my knob off. It is 100% all working. For instance, if I come over to the CS12, hit that, there's all my like controls, which also, when I hit that button, it brought the console thing up here. So let's see, if I grab the gate here, there it is. It's moving there. It's moving there. If I come over here and I grab the gate switch, it is 100% working together. This is so cool.